Welcome to CLIC Connect. I'm your host, Craig, and this is our second to the last show before the 7th Annual California Lodging Investment Conference. We're bringing back our show champion, Mr. Bruce Ford, but before we bring him out, I would like to thank Red Roof Franchising for being our production partner since the beginning. You know, if you're looking for a new brand, they're a great alternative. They've got a soft brand. They've got a prototype for a dual branded hotel, including their new extended stay product, which is doing really well. Well to great, I would say, actually. And you know they're world famous for their economy brand. So give Matt Hostetler a call. Let him know that producer Danny and I sent you. They'd love to hear from you. And guess what? We've got the one, the only, one of the principles of lodging econometrics, Mr. Bruce Ford, always a crowd favorite, and our keynote speaker at the 7th Annual California Lodging Investment Conference and chairman of our Hotel Development Deal of the Year Award. Bruce, welcome back. There he is. How are you, brother?
I am doing very well, Craig. It is a sunny day in New England, and it's going to be even sunnier on vacation next week.
There you go. There you go. Can't wait. That's going to be great for you and the family. Hey, let's jump right into this. Bruce, tell us about the hotel pipeline on a national basis, please.
Well, there's 3 or 4 pretty big capstone things to take away from the development pipeline and its activity right now. Number one, we reached a record high with new construction projects in the active pipeline. And we've done that because we have so many new brands. Again, 147 new brands since 2017 in the United States. So because of that, we have a tremendous amount of new construction projects that have entered the pipeline for the first time over the last several quarters. But the pipeline is only growing because we're not starting enough hotels. So the change in construction starts has been felt for the past really 3 quarters. We saw some minor uptick in the fourth quarter based upon the trend of the last 12 to 18 months, but still a long way to go to get back to where we were pre-pandemic in terms of construction starts, because the industry has truly been repriced as a result of debt levels and debt rates changing so much. So we see a record number of projects in the pipeline, but we also have a tremendous amount of hotels in early planning. And early planning is announced, verified, but at this time more than a year from construction start. So we call this part of the cycle, Craig, that might be referred to as getting ready to get ready. Okay, and accumulating those land assets, locking up those franchises in places where you want to expand to, culling your portfolio a little bit. Perhaps you sold a hotel or two, perhaps you acquire a hotel or two, perhaps you go through your renovation and repositioning of your assets. And the renovation and repositioning of the assets is happening at a record pace as well. So there is really no reason to feel that the activity isn't out there in the industry, because it truly is at a record pace. It's just how fast or soon is it coming? And we've developed an awful lot of tools at LE for our clients to keep track of those timelines, okay, and track of those projects as they progress through the pipeline, which is really part of our services at LE for our trusted clients. So we're in the nosebleed seats, Craigie. But it's fair to say, okay, that it would not be out of the ordinary if we were sitting here in the first quarter of 25 talking about a pipeline over 850,000 guest rooms for new construction in the United States, which we've never come close to.
Right.
If in fact the trajectory continues of new project announcements, that what we've seen so far over the past 12 to 18 months leads us to believe that is very possible.
That's an incredible number. And, you know, Bruce, your data is always been, you know, great. it's accurate, it's there. What are some of the tools that your clients have while they're tracking these, if you wouldn't mind telling the audience?
So inside of our online database environment, you can reference on every project something called timeline change history. So much of the reporting that we receive in the marketplace occurs on a monthly basis, and then our database refreshes every week. So if I change a timeline on a project for its project stage, its scheduled start date, or its scheduled open date, the project is stamped with that information at that point in time,
Yeah.
so that you can see both going back prior to that stamp and anything that changes going forward from that stamp. Being able to see really the true life cycle of the project is part of the tools. The second thing is being able to search both properties and projects, but also search companies. You could say, Craig, for instance, 30 miles around your location, who are the owners and management companies that control 10 or more hotels that are within 30 miles of your location, and here are all the key contacts and decision makers at those companies with their phone numbers, and then see their entire portfolio of hotels regardless of where it is. That is invaluable information if you're a street salesman.
You just took the words out of my mouth.
You
Yeah,
got to
it
have
is.
it.
Yeah.
It is, it's high tech. It's very user friendly. You can put an app straight on your mobile device to use the LE programming and leverage what it is you want to buy, because not everybody needs everything. But if you
Right.
need, whether it is a few chain scales, 27 brands, 4 regions, whatever it is, we build that quote a la carte programming for you as part of your agreement with LE.
See, and that's the thing. Everybody who's involved with hospitality on the deal side, this is a tool that you should have. Okay. Whether it's title insurance, whether it's a hotel law firm that does the deals and the management agreements, it's a supplier. I don't care if it's Delta or LG or somebody else. This is for everybody. Architects, it's invaluable for your sales teams to get out there and be able to be, current and active and have their finger on the pulse of what's going on.
So it's not just about projects anymore. I
Yeah.
say it's projects, properties, companies, and contacts.
Yeah.
So, being able to go into a marketplace and say, not only here are the projects that are going to open in the next 12 months in this marketplace for new hotels, but here are the active renovations and conversions that are going to be coming along. And then here are the owners and management companies that are in those markets.
Yeah.
And then if you're a supplier, here are the contractors, designers, and purchasers that are in that market. So it's almost, as my dad would say, you can go anywhere and you have all the tools to fill your dance card for your traveling salesperson. So as we come out of the pandemic, okay, and you're working towards how do I fill my book of business, this is a very good tool to help you do that for hotels.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the new construction pipeline for a little bit longer, please, Bruce. What areas or regions of the nation seem to be the hotbed of activity for new construction?
So it's a few markets that, Craig, we would have said traditionally are not overbuilt, they're under demolished. And always the market that rises to the top there is Dallas, Texas. Okay.
Yeah.
And Dallas is its own and Fort Worth is separate. And if we had those two markets together, we'd have more than 260 active pipeline projects right now, which is unbelievable. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a direct result of so many of the new brands are select service. Several of them are extended stay. And we know that Dallas is a market that is one of the largest extended stay demand markets in the country, because people go there and they drive there from other places in Texas, stay for a couple of weeks, and then drive home. not just flying in. Okay. And also, there's a lot of regional headquarters there. You know, Texas has really made a stand in terms of bringing global businesses to Dallas, and they are coming in droves. So the hotel demand is coming in droves. And I think really anything over 30, 35 years old is due to get the wrecking ball, because these campus style hotels just, you know, it's not the efficient way to operate in the as we go forward. So I keep trying to stay in new hotels in Dallas, and the last one I tried was a new loft, and it was really quite nice. But there
Very
wasn't much.
nice.
But there wasn't much around it. You had to go 2 miles in either direction, and it was, I think, about 3 miles from the Gaylord property and about 5 miles from the airport. But it was a lovely property, but a little bit separated, or maybe a B site, if you will, but might be an A in 5 or 6 years. You can't tell.
Well, that's it. The infill on the area that has to catch up to the hotel, and by that time it'll need a PIP and a complete refreshing.
Yeah.
Um,
But I visited a place like Texas Live when I was there as well,
Yeah.
and that's quite an experience. And the baseball team, Texas Rangers, won the World Series last year, and they moved into a new park, but they kept the old park next door. So they have an outdoor baseball stadium, and then they have an indoor baseball stadium as well, right next to each other, with AT&T Stadium across the street. And that is really just starting to get developed out for what it can be. And it's like a destination inside of
Yeah.
Dallas that is obviously very unique. That doesn't really, there's no big shopping mall there, you know, where there's all kinds of retail and stuff like that. At
Right.
least if there is, it's not entirely visible. But those types of places generate a lot more lodging demand than we generally recognize, because
Nice.
the destination offers so much more to corporate travel and so much
Yeah.
more to corporate meetings than just, you know, any old full service hotel on the side of the road. So that's what they're hoping for, building those entertainment experiences where you arrive,
Yeah.
you know, by shuttle, and you can walk to everything, and then you depart by shuttle back to the airport.
Absolutely. We've got one of those going on here in Los Angeles in California. So, you know, we've got SoFi, the Intuit arena for the Clippers is going to be opening up soon. They announced another hotel being built over by that stadium. And you've got the entertainment, you've got the NFL West Coast headquarters and NFL Network out here.
Yeah.
And it's close to LAX. So it works well.
To finish the answer to your question, though, this time in the cycle, okay, you see a lot of activity in the central part of the country.
Yeah.
And then it kind of builds in the central and then spreads to the coasts. Okay. So what you're talking about that's happening in Los Angeles is a long-term, long-held project that's coming to fruition now as they continue to build it out, with the first pieces opening before the pandemic ever hit. So it's on its track. It's probably been delayed a couple of years due to the pandemic, but it's long continued. Right. Just like you have in Chula Vista too. You're going to get an enormous new Gaylord there too. Okay, but with spreading to the coast, New York pipeline is almost the lowest I've seen it in 10 years, because it's all already opened. Washington, low. Boston, low, because the coasts went through a development cycle pre-pandemic, and they'll be slow to start the next one.
Yeah. What trends are you seeing in these new developments that are coming across the country? Are the brands updating what they want in the guest rooms and the bathrooms, the lobbies, and all of that? Is there a narrative thread per brand that's something new that they're putting into these new hotels?
Well, I think pre-pandemic, you would never see 80-room select service hotels be as common as they are today. Okay. And when I say 80-room select service hotels, what that really means is the prototypes for these dual brand hotels call for 60 to 80 keys for each brand. So you ultimately end up with 150 or 160 room property, but you have two brands that have a much smaller platform. The pairing together of an upscale select service product and an upper mid-scale extended stay product is also happening frequently. And these two pairings together gives you kind of a rate scale that can fluctuate anywhere between $60 and $100 a night, depending on your room accommodations that you require. There's enough full service to have some meeting rooms. There's enough inventory to be in the corporate business, and it works pretty good. Okay. Um, the theory behind the developments today is dual brands make sense because you can have employees that work in both places, and the staff can be shared. So that's one
Nice.
trend. The second trend that I think we would see today is we're seeing more collection brands. Okay, so each one of the franchise companies continues to increase the number of brands that we're happy to welcome you into the reservation system. You don't have to be our traditional color scheme Marriott, but we have this
Yeah.
autograph brand, we have this tribute brand, we have a number of different price tiers on these collection brands or boutique brands that offer you a way to get into the system without necessarily having to be the most traditional design.
Nice. Now, you're a keynote at the California Lodging Investment Conference, and you're a crowd favorite at that conference as well, and have been our opener for some time now. How about let's touch on the California market just a little bit? We don't want to give everything away. We just want to whet their appetite for the conference on March 6th and 7th.
So the probably the biggest thing I would say about many California markets is they are convention markets. They're places where people arrive to come to conferences, meetings, conventions. California is often a destination for that. Therefore, many of those urban centers are in the conversion and renovation business at a much higher rate than they are new construction today. So the activity, if you looked at San Diego as an example, there might be twice as many renovations and conversions happening as there are new construction projects. And the industry average is 2 to 3 times. And if we were comparing that with the national average today, we're expecting to open about 80,000 new hotel rooms in 2024, but we might renovate and convert some 400,000 rooms.
Yeah.
So it's the major cities that are convention markets have been renovating and renovating and renovating, and they continue to renovate but the renovations are now moving down the cycle. Okay, which means they are, quote, started with luxury and upper upscale renovations that began in 2021 and are largely complete. There's still some overhang with 2023 and upper upscale, but most of the renovations and repositionings will occur in upscale and upper mid-scale and mid-scale as we go forward through the renovation cycle. And there are literally hundreds of thousands of rooms that are reaching that critical kind of 13 to 17 year first full-blown renovations, which, Craig, may trigger some transactions as a result, because these owners are looking at reinvestment to extend their franchise agreement, and there may not be interest in doing more investment to get there at this higher rate of cost of debt. So it might be it's not a bad hotel. It's just a bad deal at the moment for that particular owner and time to make a change. So
I agree with you.
Talk about capital recycling at the ownership and management company level. That's exactly what we mean. Yeah. You gotta work the problem, if you will.
Absolutely, my friend. All right, Bruce, are you ready for our lightning round?
I will try. I'm Lightning McQueen, so I can do it.
There we go. Producer Danny's going to put 2 minutes on the clock. It's word association starting now. Baseball or football?
Football.
Weird hotel amenities that you like.
Bluetooth speakers.
Hotel lobby.
Comfortable chairs.
Hotel transactions.
Going up in 24.
Social media.
We've seen more of the bad and the ugly in the hotel business over the past, time during the pandemic. There's a lot of room for improvement.
There we go. Best live album or CD?
Well, I'm probably going to surprise some people with this one, but I will go with Tony Bennett and Lady Gaga.
Nice. Wi-Fi.
Please make it better.
Fly or drive?
Fly.
Digital nomad.
I know not what you speak, Gogu.
Favorite place to go on vacation?
Lake Buena Vista, Florida.
Nice. You did that with 30 seconds. Congratulations, Bruce. You had 30 seconds to spare.
Well, Craig, I always want to give back to everybody out there. That's kind of part of my mantra, and to make sure you leave it better than you found it.
Absolutely. Okay, so you are the chair of our hotel development deal of the year, and we've got 2 winners again at this year's conference. You are our opening keynote and invaluable to our success. So, what excited you about the development deals of the year this year?
Well, in California, the style of hotel development is so unique because some places in California are very much a 4-season development, and some places are a 1-season place. As much as you like to tell me you see the seasons where you live, Craig, I call BS on that. Because we all know it's temperate and it's lovely, very different from being in Northern California, if you will, where some of our developments were this year.
Yes.
So I think that makes it unique, but also it's very rare with the upscale product and hire in California that you see anything that looks like anything else in the United States. The protections that you have to have for over a 5-story building in California are so dramatically different than anywhere else in the world because of earthquakes. Really kind of changes the way development occurs. And so we found, lots of different kind of options as we looked around amongst our development committee. But I think we landed on exactly where we thought we would land when we started. So that's always, gratifying in that you can kind of look and say, well, those are probably the ones right there.
Yeah.
And I think we landed there, albeit it wasn't unanimous by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah. So I think, provided some good context going forward. And I always enjoy chairing the committee and really kind of working the programming for you, Craig. And I appreciate you partnering with us to do that. And here's to a successful California Lodging Investment Conference.
Absolutely. Bruce, how can everybody get a hold of you and start ordering your data?
You can find us on the socials. We're on Facebook and Facebook and LinkedIn. You also can find me personally in both cases. But if you want to hit me up directly, Bruce at lodgingeconometrics.com.
Perfect. Thank you, my friend, and I will see you on the 6th of March. And thank you for making this show such a great one. I really appreciate it.
Looking forward to coming to the left coast.
Take care, Bruce.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, our audience. What a great show. Great information. Join us on March 6th and 7th for the California Lodging Investment Conference. The Lodging Econometrics and CLIC Hotel Deals of the Year. Two great properties. You're going to really enjoy that. We've also got our Lifetime Achievement Award going to Mr. Jim Butler at JMBM. And you know what? I want to thank Red Roof Franchising for being our production partner from the beginning. Give Matt Hostetler a call. He will also be at CLIC 7, so you can meet him. You can meet producer Danny as well. She'll be running around directing traffic because she's our director, and we've got a film crew there. So anyhow, thank you all for joining us. We are going to take a short break, and we will be back. This is our second to the last show before the conference. We've got one more. And then we're going to take a break, and we'll pick it up again after CLIC 7. So, as I'm fond of saying, be kind, share your knowledge. Now go be amazing. Thank you for watching till the end of the show. If you'd like to be a guest on CLIC Connect or a production partner, please DM us on our YouTube channel at California Lodging Investment Conference. Thank you.